So this is something that I get asked quite often. I'm going to share my thoughts on this and talking about your most valuable asset. What is your most valuable asset? So I'm going to give you my opinion. Okay. Doesn't make it fact, because there's certainly going to be people who are in different seasons of their life, their careers, their family journey, whatever that is, and their priorities, right? And that is the greatest thing that we have in this life is we get to do literally whatever the hell we want, good or bad. But I'm going to share with you mine, because I think it's important for people to gain some perspective, especially for younger people in the mortgage and the real estate world, about this hustle culture that people try to create, and they make you feel bad for not working 24 hours a day and all this other kind of stuff. And look, man, I'm not poo-pooing on anybody's ability to do that, because that's their choice. I choose not to. There was a time in my life I may have done that, but I had no other responsibilities but me and a dog. Okay. And so again, it goes back to different seasons in your life. And I think that is the beautiful thing about this life, is we can structure it however we see fit. You know, we can encourage each other. What I would also say is that some of those things, this hustle culture, can be very unhealthy. It can be very, very unhealthy. There are friends of mine, work colleagues that I know that have passed, that have died in this business because they've literally stressed themselves out. And the body can only take so much in the mind. The stresses on the mind are just as bad as the physical ones, because they create different issues. So be mindful of those things. Be mindful of your health and in your time. And so when people ask me what the most valuable asset I have is, it's my time. I'm going to give you my priorities. Again, it doesn't mean they have to be yours, but I'm going to share it with mine. And that's the beautiful thing about me doing these videos, is I can pretty much tell you what I think. Okay. And my number one thing in my time is my family. Both of my sons, my wife, my father, my mother, both my step parents, simply because the one thing about life is it's finite. We only have so much time on this earth. And my father's not in the greatest of health. He has Parkinson's from his Agent Orange exposure when he was in Vietnam. So that time is limited. Whether we like it or not, it's limited. So I'm going to try to spend as much time with my dad as I can. I have sons, one who's 20, about to be 21, one who's 10. They're in different seasons of their life, different needs, but I want to be there to fill those gaps and watch them flourish. And hopefully they learn from what I do. And spending time with my wife. You know, we love to travel. We love to do things together. We play golf, we travel, we spend time with our family, just sitting out by the pool or watching movies or whatever it is. And that's always going to be my number one priority. As much as I love my job and serving the veteran and the military communities and teaching and traveling and speaking and doing those things, my family is number one. And it will always be that way. Even when my sons are grown and gone, I'm still going to be, if they want me to be, they may tell me to pound sand, part of that. So I think that's important for people. That's my priority and always my number one. And the second one is kind of, or I would say there's 1A and 1B, are the memories that I get to make with them while I'm doing those things and traveling with good friends, people who I do business with who've now become more like family than friends. And I think people often miss that. We get so wrapped up in, I got to have more, that we forget about what we have. We forget about going deeper with the people that we've already built that relationship with and providing maximum value, whether it's business related, personal, just saying, hey, how you doing? Any of those things. We forget about that. We forget about these memories that we can make with the human beings that we interact with, because we're so focused on solely closing the next loan or getting the next house under contract or whatever it is that you do. And I think people miss the boat when they do that. And I can say that because I've done it. So this is not pointing fingers. I am saying this because I have lived that life. And I will be 50 in October. I am 2/3 through my life expectancy when you look at it from a mortality perspective. What am I going to do with that remaining part of my life? Well, I'm going to make maximum memories with the people I care about most. I'm going to change lives through financial decisions that people make when they buy houses. That's what I can control. Can't control rates, can't control the market, inflation, the president, financial, the political picture, any of that stuff. But what I can control is how I serve those people. Number 3, and the last thing, is work. That's third on the priority list. I love my job. I love veterans. I love military. It's personal for me. Military spouses, surviving spouses, education, educating other LOs, educating the real estate community, educating my sons, educating anybody that I come in contact with, and always being the consummate student. That's what I want. That's number 3, because I love it. It feeds me like nobody's business. And it's not feeding me in the sense of I'm closing loans over it. It's feeding something in a part of me that requires to be constantly learning, constantly educating. And so I hope that people see that. I learn as much from people that I come across as hopefully they learn from me. I'm a giver. I care about more about you than probably I care about me, as crazy as that sounds, because I want you to succeed. And we do that through education. No one has ever moved the needle without educating people on something. We live in the influencer economy. This is where we are, like it or not. And there's a lot of distractions out there. There's a lot of nonsense in the marketplace. There's a lot of things that we could probably ignore, but they're front and center on all social media channels and everything else. But the one thing that never dies is learning. There's going to be the next thing past TikTok, past Instagram Reels and all these things. But education is always there. It's always agnostic, whether you're learning about your business, whether you're educating someone about that, or whether you're just educating yourself on working on a car, building something, building this, building the next thing. We have the ability, the greatest information age in the history of mankind, but we got to use it for good and not evil. Because what I see is people relying on things that are a flash in the pan. There are foundations for businesses. There are foundations for families. And sometimes those get missed because we're chasing shiny pennies. So I would encourage you to set these, we'll call them boundaries, but also set your priorities in your business and your life. Define what that is. And if you're sitting in front of someone that you're trying to build a relationship with, ask them what theirs are. They should know. And if they don't, encourage them to do it. Walk alongside them. Don't drag them, because you can't motivate the unmotivated, but you can help people lead a better life, not by money, not monetarily, by giving them time back.